Bound upon me, rush upon me. I will overcome you by enduring your onset. Whatever strikes against that which is firm and unconquerable merely injures itself by its own violence. Seneca. When does the sensation of being conquered arise within you? Is it triggered when another country seizes control of your own? Or do you find yourself conquered when an adversary takes possession of your home and all your belongings? Perhaps the feeling of defeat emerges when you're imprisoned with your hands and feet bound, or when someone unexpectedly snatches away your chance to pursue a romantic interest. This experience likely varies for each individual in terms of how circumstances prompt a sense of being overcome. The ancient Stoics, in their wealth of insights, delved into the art of achieving unconquerability. They held the belief that external forces cannot truly conquer a person unless that individual surrenders their authority over their own faculties. The sole pathway through which external factors can impact us is when we, by our own volition, allow them in. When we sense that something has defeated us, it is essentially us defeating ourselves by succumbing to it. The pursuit of unconquerability doesn't require us to conquer the entire world, but rather to conquer ourselves. This video explores Stoic philosophy on how to become unconquerable. The way we estimate external things decides how they influence us, not the things in themselves. If we attribute a high value to something, there's a risk that we develop a desire for it. If we then encounter what we desire, we feel elated, which is of course a great feeling. But when we somehow can't get what we want, we don't feel so great. And thus, we've put our emotional state at the mercy of outside circumstances. Imagine you're genuinely attracted to someone at your workplace or school. After mustering the courage to approach them and successfully arranging a date, you'll likely be on cloud 9. However, if this person unexpectedly cancels the date at the last moment, you'll find yourself disappointed and possibly even upset. Although situations involving flaking, rejection, or being dumped are common in the dating world, people's responses can vary significantly. Some individuals simply shrug off such occurrences and continue with their lives, while others respond by harboring resentment or seeking revenge. Should rejection trigger a powerful emotional response within us, we could infer that this event has managed to conquer our emotional state. And you can't be like that. This power to influence our emotional well-being and potentially shape our actions is also present when it comes to insults. If seemingly minor insults manage to nurture days of lingering resentment, it's as if the person who delivered the insult has effectively conquered the one insulted. However, there exist far more profound ways through which people can gain influence over us, beyond mere insults or rejection. One such example is manipulation through blackmail. A commonly employed form of blackmail involves the threat of tarnishing one's reputation. Since many individuals hold their reputation dear, they might easily succumb to such tactics. In such cases, if someone yields to this pressure, the one resorting to blackmail has successfully conquered their target. Another example is interrogation accompanied by imprisonment and even torture, which was common practice in the Roman Empire. The effectiveness of these methods depends on how attached someone is to one's body and how much pain he's willing to suffer. The Stoics say that we always have a choice, even in such horrible circumstances. If we knuckle under the actions of our torturer, we've made a choice to be conquered by him. But if we refuse to give in despite the severity of the torments, the torturer may damage our bodies but fails to defeat us. We are often troubled, but not crushed, sometimes in doubt, but never in despair. In the Discourses of Epictetus, an extensive collection of lectures by the 2nd-century Stoic philosopher, we find him emphasizing repeatedly the unassailable nature of an individual's capacity to choose, alternatively translated as moral choice by certain scholars. Regardless of the circumstances at hand, even in the face of the most dire situations, we retain the agency to either retain control over our actions or succumb to the surrounding conditions. Epictetus illustrates the potency of this ability by recounting his response to a hypothetical scenario in which a tyrant threatens him. Should he declare, "I will confine you in chains," my retort would be, "He is menacing my hands and my feet." When he asserts, "I will execute you," I would reply, "He is endangering my neck." If his declaration turns to, "I will cast you into prison," I would counter, "He is endangering my entire meager body." And even if he employs the threat of exile, my response remains unchanged. Epictetus illustrates in this passage that even though the tyrant tries to exercise power over him, he remains unconquerable. Sure, the tyrant can chain his legs, chop his head, or throw him into prison, but these are simply outside factors that aren't up to him, and thus, according to Epictetus, they're nothing to him. What counts are his actions, and no one but ourselves can decide these. If we want to be unconquerable, we need to be willing to endure any hardship. We need to be prepared to dismiss entirely what others might think of us, to be willing to forfeit all that we possess, even our most fundamental necessities, to endure the confinement and mistreatment of our bodies, and even to bid farewell to those we hold dear. Every potent attachment we harbor, whether it's an unwavering connection we are hesitant to sever, or something we cannot bear and won't tolerate, possesses the capacity to destabilize and sway our choices. A prime illustration of unconquerability is found in the story of psychiatrist and philosopher Viktor Frankl, who endured 3 grueling years of captivity within various Nazi concentration camps. In his work, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl recounts how Jewish prisoners were coerced into assisting prison guards, committing heinous acts against their own comrades in exchange for food and improved treatment. Frankl astutely observed how individuals were quick to succumb to the brutal circumstances, willing to do whatever it took to survive, even if it meant betraying or mistreating others. However, a distinct group refused to allow the circumstances to dictate their values, continuing to exhibit acts of kindness and compassion. Thus, while the Nazis could subject these individuals to imprisonment, torture, starvation, and even extermination, they remained unvanquished. Seneca stated that hardships aren't the problem, but our surrendering to them is. Therefore, a Stoic sage will not be disturbed by hardships, which means they can't touch him. What element of evil is there in torture and in the other things which we call hardships? It seems to me that there is this evil, that the mind sags and bends and collapses. But none of these things can happen to the sage. He stands erect under any load. Nothing can subdue him. Nothing that must be endured annoys him. For he does not complain that he has been struck by that which can strike any man. He knows his own strength. He knows that he was born to carry burdens. Undoubtedly, the Stoic sage's ideal state is formidable and nearly unattainable. Just as with any profound aspiration, cultivating a heightened unconquerability in the Stoic context necessitates persistent practice. The ancient Stoics recognized this challenge, but spurred themselves and others to strive for improvement. However, maintaining unwavering rationality at all times can be demanding, given that our rational faculties often struggle to fully contain our emotions. The ancient Stoics astutely observed that emotional responses often precede our ability to intervene, even causing sages to be momentarily taken aback. This led them to differentiate between the passions and emotions. According to Stoic teachings, we exert influence over our passions: distress, fear, lust, and delight. The Stoic sage is ideally immune to passions. However, most of us aren't sages and are bound to experience passions at least intermittently. Fortunately, even in the grip of our passions, we retain the capacity to choose, Even if we find ourselves prostrate, overcome by emotion, and to a certain extent conquered, we still maintain the ability to determine our subsequent actions. Thus, we might suggest that various defense lines can be breached by external influences, with the ultimate boundary being our capacity to choose. Should someone breach this final line, they would have indeed fully conquered us. Therefore, to attain unconquerability, we must safeguard our lines of defense. In this analogy, our ability to fend off the assaults of passions can be fortified through reason and restraint. We can defend the line of our choice or moral choice with the same weapons, but it's going to be a bit more challenging when the first battle line is taken. If the enemy conquers our emotional state, they will influence our decision-making. For example, when there's a strong desire, we're more likely to base our decision on it, or when we're angry, we're more likely to act out. So when the enemy stands on our doorstep, we need firepower to defend our ability to choose. We might liken this firepower to our intrinsic resilience, the ability to make sound decisions even in the face of overwhelming emotions. An illustration of this can be found in the film Lord of the Rings, where Frodo takes on an exceedingly daunting task: to transport the One Ring to Mordor and cast it into the fires of Mount Doom. The peril of the One Ring lies in its capacity to forge a potent attachment between itself and its bearer. Consequently, the person wearing the ring becomes so obsessed with it that he'll do anything to prevent separation. Frodo indeed grows attached to his so-called precious, just like Gollum, who's trying to take it from him. Now, although Frodo did give in to his attachment at the very end, he was able to carry the ring for thousands of miles, overcoming countless moments of temptation. Most other characters would have probably surrendered to the ring much earlier, like Boromir, for example. Once more, in accordance with Stoic philosophy, there exists only one element genuinely susceptible to conquest: our power of choice. All else resides beyond our influence and is subject to the caprices of fate. Our possessions, be they riches, our autonomy, or our standing, can all slip away, succumbing to the unpredictable turns of fortune. However, our capability to shape our beliefs, to yearn, to harbor resentment, to embrace, to refrain, to converse, or to remain silent, endures as an indelible part of us. As Viktor Frankl astutely phrased it, when we find ourselves unable to alter a circumstance, we are presented with the challenge of transforming ourselves. Marco Aurelius, a distinguished emperor and philosopher, once proclaimed that genuine authority resides within our minds, not in external events. Recognizing this grants us the necessary strength to navigate a world where emotions can resemble turbulent waves. So how do we discover our point of stability in the face of this? In this video, we will uncover 7 Stoic teachings that hold the secret to controlling our emotions and navigating the storms of life with wisdom and steadfastness. Lesson 1. Understand what is within your control. Have you ever faced a life storm caused by unexpected events, frustrations, or sudden changes? The Stoic thinkers of Greece and Rome provide a refuge in these turbulent moments through the concept of the dichotomy of control. Imagine, for example, organizing an outdoor event and being surprised by rain. You cannot change the weather, but you can choose how to react. You can resent and get upset or adjust, seeing the rain as a refreshing opportunity. According to Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, certain things are under our control and others are not. This fundamental perception enables us to reshape our lives, understanding that while we can influence some elements, numerous things are beyond our control. Stoics argued that our well-being is not based on external events, but on how we interpret and react to them. Not getting a desired job may seem like a setback initially, but over time, it can reveal itself as a disguise for personal growth or a better opportunity. How to apply this in practice? Start by asking yourself, is it within my control? If yes, act. If not, see it as a chance to practice acceptance and flexibility. Assimilating this concept frees us from unnecessary worries and anxieties, allowing us to face life serenely, aware that, while we cannot control the winds, we have the ability to adjust our sails. In a turbulent environment, The dichotomy of control brings clarity, directing us to focus our energies on what truly matters. Lesson 2. Reflect before responding. In the current digital world where speed is valued, the exercise of reflection may seem old-fashioned. However, this act of pause and consideration is our support in an environment that demands agility. Think about the countless choices we make, big or small, from deciding a meal to choosing a career path. When receiving communication that affects your emotions, whether a colleague criticizing your work or a spontaneous comment from a friend, the immediate response may be defensive or angry. But instead of reacting immediately, how about taking a step back, providing a momentary separation? It's not about suppressing emotions, but giving them space to breathe and be understood. Reflection is not passive. It is an active engagement with our thoughts and emotions. It involves questioning, why did it happen? Why does it touch me so deeply? What beliefs or past experiences shape my emotions? Reflections promote empathy, allowing us to consider other perspectives. Perhaps that colleague had a stressful day, or that friend didn't realize the weight of their words. In relationships, this practice is crucial. How many misunderstandings could be avoided if we took time to reflect before reacting? How many bridges could be built? In moments like these, reflective moments offer clarity, compassion, and connection. In professional environments, the ability to pause and ponder is an invaluable characteristic in leaders. Those who reflect before deciding are often more respected and effective. They are seen as thoughtful, measured, and their decisions, born out of reflection, stand the test of time. In a constantly moving and accelerating world, the act of reflection is a silent yet powerful rebellion. It is a statement that we will not be carried away by the currents of immediate media. It is a commitment to our well-being, the quality of our interactions, and deepening our understanding. Lesson 3. Cultivate detachment. Even in a universe filled with emotional ups and downs, the practice of detachment is crucial. It's not about suppressing feelings but fostering an impartial view, capable of observing events, circumstances, and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Detachment creates a barrier in a data-saturated world, aiding in interactions and conflicts. Consider watching a gripping movie. You immerse yourself, feel the tension, excitement, melancholy, but you're aware it's just fiction. There's no urgency to intervene. You just watch. That's the essence of detachment. Being fully engaged in life, experiencing emotions but knowing when to stay in the audience of your consciousness, observing without getting drowned in the plot. This strategy is essential in the age of information overload. Reacting intensely to every piece of data would leave us perpetually exhausted. Detachment provides us with a barrier, a way to interact with the world in a balanced manner. It is also crucial in interpersonal relationships. In intense dialogues or disagreements, adopting detachment can be the difference between a constructive conversation and a harmful debate. It enables us to listen attentively, respond instead of react, and lead with empathy and grace. Promoting detachment begins with self-awareness. It involves conducting frequent self-checks, identifying emotional triggers, and understanding our patterns, creating a space between stimulus and response. In this interval lies the freedom to choose how to react, to act with purpose rather than impulsivity. Exercising detachment enriches life, allowing us to enjoy happiness and pleasures without being excessively attached to outcomes. We can fully engage in the journey, savoring each moment without the constant fear of loss or change. Detachment is a guide in a constantly changing world, directing us through life's diverse paths with elegance and discernment. Lesson 4. Question if this will matter in 5 years. Life presents moments that test our patience, resilience, and worldview. From minor disturbances to significant obstacles, we face situations that evoke a range of emotions. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to be swept away by emotions. A critical comment or a forgotten birthday may seem overwhelming. However, a powerful question can shift our perspective and bring clarity. Will this matter in 5 years? This simple yet impactful inquiry works as a mental teleportation, taking us beyond the present, reassessing the current moment. Suddenly, that intense argument or missed opportunity is perceived in a new light. much of today's anxieties will become mere traces in the vast tapestry of our existence. Reflect on the concerns you had 5 years ago. How many of them are still relevant today? How many have been overshadowed by new experiences, learnings, and memories? This humble and liberating approach helps prioritize concerns and distinguish between short-term setbacks and long-term implications. It promotes resilience, reminding us to maintain a broader view, reducing anxiety, and fostering problem-solving. Instead of getting stuck, we develop strategies and adapt, moving forward with the understanding that clarity and solutions often come from this perspective. This question also encourages us to focus on what truly matters, so our actions and decisions have lasting results, investing in the importance of relationships, personal growth, and experiences that withstand the test of time. Lesson 5. Maintain a Stoic journal. The act of journaling has been celebrated in all cultures and times, not just as a record of events, but as a tool for growth, introspection, and clarity. Stoics, with their emphasis on self-awareness and personal improvement, were no strangers to this practice. The Stoic journal is not just a record of daily events, it's a space for reflection, for a dialogue with oneself, to dissect emotions, decisions, and reactions. It's where the external world meets the internal, where events are filtered through personal values and beliefs. Imagine ending your day not just recounting what happened, but how you responded. For a particular comment that upset you, what triggered that burst of joy during a mundane task? In the journal, we begin to understand the nuances of our psyche, see the triggers that influence our mood, the values that guide our decisions, and the habits that shape our days. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, kept a journal, now known as Meditations. For him, it wasn't made for publication. It was a personal dialogue, a space to guide himself and remind himself of Stoic principles while navigating the challenges of his life with wisdom. Through his texts, we see an individual confronting his obligations, feelings, and his role in the universe. However, it's not necessary to be a sovereign to benefit from a Stoic journal. In our current lives, filled with distractions and an incessant flow of information, dedicating moments to self-analysis becomes even more vital. A daily balance becomes a ritual of connecting with reality, providing insight amid the chaos. With practice, this activity can yield profound insights. You may realize that certain circumstances consistently generate stress, prompting you to confront or alter your view of them. You might discover that certain habits, like gratitude or mindfulness, enhance your mood and perspective. The patterns that emerge act as a guide for personal development. Beyond insights, a Stoic journal encourages accountability. By committing to daily reflection, we take responsibility for our reactions and decisions. It becomes more challenging to ignore recurring mistakes or lapses in judgment. Instead, we are prompted to learn, adapt, and evolve. Lesson 6. Face obstacles as opportunities. The world is saturated with challenges, ranging from individual setbacks to global barriers. They are an intrinsic element of the human experience. What if, instead of viewing these challenges as burdens, we saw them as opportunities? The Stoics adopted a powerful perspective on setbacks. They believed that, although we may not always control events, we have power over our interpretation and reaction to them. This shift in perspective transforms challenges from mere hindrances to valuable lessons. It means that every barrier, every difficulty, can propel us forward if we choose to see it as an opportunity for growth. Think of a river encountering an obstacle in its path. Instead of stopping, the river seeks a way to bypass it, wearing down the obstacle over time or charting a new course. Thus, the apparent hindrance becomes an element of transformation, redefining the course of the river. Similarly, in our lives, challenges can redirect our trajectories, often leading us to unexpected outcomes. For example, a job loss, despite initially being a blow, can result in a new career, an opportunity to enhance skills, or even the chance to start a business. A failed relationship can pave the way for self-discovery, personal development, and deeper, more meaningful connections in the future. This Stoic approach also fosters resilience. When we begin to view challenges as opportunities, we become more flexible, more willing to face adversity head-on. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we start to inquire, "What can I learn from this? How can this transform me for the better?" Of course, this doesn't imply that we should seek difficulties or ignore real problems. It's about recognizing that in every challenge lies potential, a seed of opportunity. Cultivating this seed with an optimistic view, patience and determination can turn obstacles into steps toward wisdom and growth. Lesson 7. Cultivate gratitude. In the rich tapestry of human life among the various emotions, gratitude stands out as a thread of gold, weaving moments of joy, contentment, and perspective. While it is an emotion that can arise spontaneously, the Stoics believed in the deliberate practice of gratitude, making it a daily ritual to anchor oneself in the present and appreciate the blessings of life. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It is a deep acknowledgement of the myriad forces, moments, and individuals that enrich our lives. It is about recognizing the beauty in the world, the lessons from challenges, and the fleeting nature of each experience, making everything even more precious. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, once said that true happiness is enjoying the present without anxiety about the future. This encapsulates the essence of gratitude, deeply rooted in the present, valuing every moment, every experience, and every interaction. Consider the simple pleasures that we often take for granted: the warmth of the sun on a cold day, the sound of laughter, a meal shared with loved ones, or the very breath that sustains us. Stopping and appreciating these moments, amplifying their beauty and meaning, enriches our lives. It also provides a contrast to the human tendency to focus on what is lacking, on unfulfilled desires, or uncertainties about the future. Shifting our focus to what we have rather than what is missing cultivates contentment, reduces feelings of envy or resentment, and enhances our overall well-being. One might wonder how a person develops gratitude. It can be as basic as starting or ending the day by listing 3 aspects for which they feel grateful. Over time, this routine can alter their worldview, making them more open to life's gifts and more resilient in the face of obstacles. Additionally, gratitude strengthens interpersonal relationships. By expressing appreciation for acts of kindness, support, or love received from others, we strengthen bonds, foster mutual respect, and establish a positive cycle of affection and care. In a world often focused on accumulating more possessions, more successes, more aspirations, gratitude acts as a subtle reminder of the richness already present in our existences. It represents an invitation to value the present moment, embrace life with enthusiasm, and traverse the path of existence with a spirit full of gratitude. In this special video, we will explore the doctrine of Stoicism, which dates back to ancient Greece. We will analyze its validity to face the ups and downs of modern life, immersing ourselves in 25 fundamental principles of this philosophy. These principles can transform your perspective in the face of challenges and difficulties. If you are new here, we encourage you to subscribe and like the video to support the creation of more content. Stoicism has been an inspiring source throughout history, providing us with tools to face adversity, achieve serenity, and remain calm. However, this video will not be limited to proposing actions. We'll also address 7 behaviors that Stoicism suggests avoiding, as they can hinder personal growth and the pursuit of a meaningful life. We'll begin by exploring the 25 principles that strengthen our mindset, and then examine the 7 behaviors to avoid when emotionally exposed. It is crucial to understand that some people can take advantage of this exposure to cause harm. Unfortunately, the dynamic of sadism and envy is common in various settings, such as work, social circles, and family. Learning to protect our vulnerabilities is valuable. Imagine yourself as a tree in the middle of a storm. The leaves may flutter and the branches sway, but the trunk remains firm and rooted. This video will teach you about silent resistance, the art of staying strong in the face of adversity, and how to strengthen this resistance so that external and internal turbulence does not affect us. We will explore the Stoic Principles of Epicurus, a renowned philosopher, and invite you on a journey of self-discovery. We will discover that true strength lies not in the roar of thunder, but in the serenity of the light that guides our path. Dedicate yourself to this content by eliminating distractions and focusing on this learning process with us. The first principle highlights the importance of emotional resilience, urging us to develop the ability to maintain inner peace and serenity, even in the face of external negativity. Recognize that life is full of challenges and that inevitably we will encounter people and situations that will test our peace of mind and emotional balance. However, instead of being carried away by these influences, we are called to cultivate an inner strength that allows us to remain firm and centered. Emotional resilience involves the ability to quickly recover from difficulties and adapt to changes, maintaining a state of calm and clarity. This does not mean denying or repressing our emotions, but rather recognizing them, understanding them, and learning to manage them effectively. By developing emotional resilience, we become less prone to impulsive reactions and more able to respond to adverse situations with consideration and wisdom. Ignoring the negativity of others is an essential part of this principle, recognizing that often other people's negative attitudes and words have more to do with their own internal struggles than ours. Preserving our inner peace involves practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and reflection, which help us cultivate a deeper awareness of our thoughts and emotions. Furthermore, the first principle reminds us that emotional resilience is a skill that can be developed and strengthened over time, through constant practice and a commitment to self-knowledge and growth. By facing our fears, challenges, and uncertainties with courage and openness, we transform our most difficult experiences into opportunities to develop even greater strength and wisdom. By learning to ignore the negativity of others and preserve our inner peace, we not only improve our own quality of life, but we also become a source of strength and inspiration to those around us. The second Stoic principle warns about the possible dangers of fortune, offering a critical perspective on wealth and its implications. It highlights that, although wealth is sought and valued, it can distort moral values and distance us from the true pleasures of life. This principle is a powerful reminder to maintain vigilance and caution in situations of material abundance. It does not disparage wealth itself, but warns about the risk of it becoming the center of our lives, obscuring vital aspects such as interpersonal relationships, personal growth, and contribution to the common good. Fortune can seduce with promises of happiness and security, but these are often illusory and temporary. The Stoics, through this principle, remind us that true joy and satisfaction are not found in the accumulation of material goods, but in a life lived with virtue, purpose, and in harmony with nature and others. Wealth, when present, should be considered as a tool to achieve noble goals, not as an end in itself. This teaching also encourages the practice of temperance and gratitude, recognizing that fortune is transitory and that true wealth lies in human character and relationships. We thus cultivate a sense of satisfaction and appreciation for what we already have, protecting ourselves against insatiability and the constant search for more, a cycle that often leads to emptiness and dissatisfaction. In short, the second Stoic principle serves as a warning about the dangers of wealth and an invitation to a more balanced and meaningful life. It advises us to maintain constant vigilance over our desires and aspirations, ensuring that the search for material abundance does not divert us from the true sources of happiness and fulfillment. By doing so, we can live more authentically, centered, and fulfilling. The third Stoic principle advises us to avoid rigidly clinging to a single hope or aspiration. This wise teaching proposes the diversification of dreams and goals as a means to achieve greater flexibility and resilience in a constantly changing world. This approach allows us to better adapt to changing circumstances and find satisfaction in various areas of life. The principle recognizes that fixating on a single goal or dream can lead to emotional and mental fragility. When all our energy and hope are focused on a single aspiration, we become vulnerable to the vicissitudes of luck and destiny. If we don't achieve that goal, we may feel lost or disillusioned, unable to see other opportunities and possibilities around us. By diversifying our goals and aspirations, we create an emotional and psychological safety net, allowing us to remain stable and optimistic even when one path closes. We know that we have other paths to fulfillment and satisfaction. This flexibility makes us more adaptable and able to navigate life's complexities with greater balance and ease. Additionally, by encompassing a variety of interests and goals, we enrich our life experience. Each dream offers unique opportunities for learning and growth, allowing us to develop a broader range of skills and knowledge, increasing our ability to contribute meaningfully to the world and the people around us. In summary, the third Stoic principle encourages us to look beyond a single hope or aspiration and embrace diversity in our life goals. This approach gives us greater resilience in the face of uncertainty, allowing us to find joy and satisfaction in multiple facets of our existence. By doing so, we cultivate a richer, more dynamic and fulfilling life. The fourth Stoic principle, inspired by the reflections of Epictetus, offers us a valuable reminder about the nature of true wealth. This teaching guides us to recognize that authentic wealth is not found in material goods or the accumulation of possessions, but in a content and grateful spirit. The principle emphasizes the importance of focusing on gratitude for what we have, rather than regretting what we lack. This perspective invites us to reevaluate our values and priorities in a culture often dominated by consumerism and the endless search for more. Stoic wisdom reminds us that genuine satisfaction comes from within. By cultivating a feeling of satisfaction with what we already have, we create a state of inner peace and happiness that does not depend on external circumstances. The principle also encourages us to adopt a stance of gratitude towards life, valuing and being grateful for the things we already have, whether tangible such as material goods or intangible such as relationships, experiences, and personal achievements. We foster a positive attitude that enriches our existence, helping us to see the world with more generous eyes and value the small joys and daily miracles. Additionally, by focusing on gratitude and contentment, we become less susceptible to life's adversities and challenges. This posture strengthens us against dissatisfaction and discouragement, since we understand that our happiness and tranquility are not linked to external factors, but are cultivated internally. In summary, the fourth Stoic principle, as taught by Epictetus, encourages us to recognize that true wealth lies in a content and grateful spirit. By practicing gratitude and appreciating what we already have, we free ourselves from the constant search for more and find joy and satisfaction in the riches that are already present in our lives. This principle guides us towards a fuller, harmonious, and more meaningful existence. The fifth Stoic principle, one of the foundations of Stoic philosophy, highlights the importance of listening more than speaking. This concept, often attributed to Epicurus, underscores the relevance of valuing listening over speaking in a society where voices compete for attention and opinions are quickly formed and expressed. The ability to listen attentively and empathically becomes a revolutionary act of wisdom and self-understanding. Listening more than speaking is not only an act of respect towards others, but also an exercise in humility and learning. By silencing our own voices and making space for the perspectives of others, we expand our understanding of the world and enrich our experience of life. Attentive listening allows us to absorb knowledge, experiences, and worldviews different from our own, contributing to deeper personal and collective growth. Additionally, this Stoic principle teaches us about the importance of patience and time. Listening requires us to slow down our thoughts and reactions, offering a space for reflection and consideration. This helps us form more thoughtful and less reactive responses, promoting more effective and meaningful communication. The practice of listening also strengthens human bonds. When we feel truly heard, a feeling of validation and understanding emerges, creating a solid foundation for more authentic and empathetic relationships, both personally and professionally. In a world that is increasingly connected but paradoxically isolated, the ability to listen becomes an essential pillar to build more united and supportive communities. In summary, the fifth Stoic principle, which advocates listening more than speaking, powerfully reminds us of the importance of active listening. It challenges us to reconsider our way of communicating and interacting with others, promoting a more reflective, empathetic, and connected posture with our environment. By adopting this teaching, we not only improve our lives, but we also contribute to a more understanding and harmonious world. The sixth principle is a profound call to reflect on mortality and the ephemeral nature of life. It urges us to recognize that our journey in this world is brief and uncertain, reminding us that every moment is precious and should not be wasted. Instead of seeking to accumulate temporary possessions and wealth that will not accompany us after death, he advises us to invest our time and energy in experiences that enrich our soul and in relationships that elevate and sustain value. Valuing limited time means understanding that every second is an opportunity to grow, learn, and contribute significantly to the world around us. It is understanding that true wealth lies not in what we own, but in the experiences we live, the lessons we learn, and the connections we make with other people. This principle invites us to live consciously and intentionally, seeking activities that bring us genuine joy and lasting satisfaction. It also encourages us to build and foster authentic and meaningful relationships in a world where interactions often become superficial and fleeting. It reminds us of the importance of cultivating deep and lasting connections with family, friends, and community, as these relationships are the true treasures of life and offer support, love, and companionship in the most difficult times. By becoming aware of our mortality, we feel motivated to live with more purpose and passion, inspiring us to leave a positive legacy by contributing in some way to a better world. This could mean getting involved in social causes, pursuing creative projects, or simply spreading kindness and compassion in our daily lives. The sixth principle is, therefore, an invitation to introspection and transformation. It challenges us to reevaluate our priorities and choose a path aligned with our deepest values. By doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but we also positively impact the lives of those around us, creating ripples of positive impact that reverberate through the earth. The seventh principle highlights humility as a fundamental pillar on the path to continuous learning. It invites us to recognize that no matter how much we know, there is always more to learn and new perspectives to explore. This principle suggests that true wisdom lies not in accumulating knowledge, but in maintaining an open and receptive mind to the infinite possibilities of growth and understanding. Humility in learning involves understanding that our current knowledge is limited and temporary, and that the world around us is constantly evolving. This means being willing to question our beliefs and prejudices, as well as being open to unlearning what we believe to be true. In doing so, we create space for new information and ideas, expanding our view of the world and enriching our understanding. This principle urges us not only to seek new knowledge, but also to appreciate the experiences and perspectives of others. It recognizes that each person has something valuable to contribute, and that the diversity of thoughts and experiences enriches the learning process. By practicing humility, we learn to actively listen and consider different points of view, an essential aspect for personal and collective growth. Humility also helps us deal with mistakes and failures constructively. Instead of becoming discouraged or defensive, we can see these adversities as valuable opportunities to learn and improve. This approach makes us more resilient and adaptable, essential qualities in a world that is constantly changing. Embracing humility in learning is therefore a journey of self-discovery and expansion. It is an invitation to dive deeper into ourselves and the world around us, seeking to better understand the complexity and beauty of life. By staying humble and curious, we open the doors to a life of continuous learning, enrichment, and transformation. The eighth principle addresses essential personal responsibility and the vital importance of surrounding ourselves with people who motivate us to achieve and maintain our best selves. It reminds us that, as individuals, we have the power and obligation to make decisions that shape our lives and influence those around us. It emphasizes that being the best version of yourself is not a solitary journey, but one that is enriched and amplified by the company and support of others. Personal responsibility involves accepting that we are the main architects of our lives. This means taking control of our actions, thoughts, and emotions, understanding how they contribute to our overall well-being and that of others. This principle encourages us to be self-aware, reflect on our choices, and act in ways that are aligned with our deepest values and goals. It urges us to recognize our mistakes, learn from them, and make positive changes. On the other hand, it highlights the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who inspire us and challenge us to grow, whether they are mentors, friends, family, or colleagues. These people serve as mirrors that reflect our own possibilities, and encourage us to pursue our dreams with determination and ethics. Their presence in our lives creates an enriching environment that facilitates personal growth and evolution. The ninth principle addresses a crucial aspect of the human experience: guilt. It urges us to avoid the paralyzing trap of blame and instead take responsibility for our actions constructively. This principle recognizes that although guilt may arise as a natural response to mistakes and failures, remaining in this state can be detrimental and impede personal growth. Instead of being consumed by guilt, we are encouraged to take a more proactive and positive approach. If guilt is not adequately addressed, it can plunge us into a cycle of negativity that affects both our self-esteem and our ability to move forward. The ninth principle reminds us that we all make mistakes, but what is crucial is how we respond to them. Instead of getting stuck in guilt, we should learn from our actions and use that knowledge to improve. This process involves recognizing our mistakes, understanding their consequences, and taking corrective measures to avoid repeating them in the future. Taking responsibility is a vital step on this path, involving an honest and objective evaluation of our actions and their repercussions, without making excuses or blaming others. This acceptance is not self-flagellation, but a mature recognition that serves as a starting point for positive change. Furthermore, the principle suggests that we should replace blame with constructive reflection and positive action. Instead of mentally punishing ourselves, we should focus on how to improve and repair any damage caused. This may involve apologizing, making refunds, or simply changing our behavior to avoid repeating the same mistake. Self-compassion is essential to overcoming guilt, treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend in a similar situation. By recognizing our humanity and imperfections, we can learn to forgive ourselves and move forward with a more positive and responsible attitude. By doing so, we free ourselves from the chains of guilt and open the way to a fuller and more authentic life, marked by constant evolution and improvement. The 10th principle offers us powerful reflection on the nature of our reactions and how they shape the course of our lives. It reinforces the idea that, although we cannot control every event that happens to us, we do have the power to choose how to respond to them. This principle suggests that it is in our responses to adversity where the true power to determine our destiny lies. Recognize that life is full of challenges and setbacks, and while we cannot avoid them, we can choose how to approach them. Cultivating awareness and intentionality in our responses involves developing the ability to pause before reacting, evaluating the situation objectively, and choosing the most beneficial action. Transforming challenges into opportunities for strengthening and improvement is the central objective of this principle. Furthermore, it highlights the importance of adopting a positive and resilient attitude in the face of difficulties. This does not mean ignoring pain or difficulties, but facing them with courage and optimism. Instead of being dominated by negative emotions, we can look for lessons in every experience and use those learnings to move forward with more wisdom and strength. Likewise, the 10th principle encourages us to seek support when necessary. Although our reactions are personal, it is not necessary to face our struggles alone. Help from friends, family, or professionals can provide new perspectives and resources to address adversity more effectively. As we become more skilled at responding constructively to adversity, we begin to notice positive changes in our lives. Our conscious choices lead us on a path of personal growth and bring us closer to a destination more aligned with our values and aspirations. This principle encourages us to face adversity with awareness, courage, and optimism, transforming each challenge into a ladder to a higher and more rewarding destiny. Regarding the 11th principle, it highlights the fundamental importance of fulfilling our duties and responsibilities, always acting with integrity and dedication. It serves as a powerful reminder that our actions and decisions impact not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us and society as a whole. It urges us to live by the highest standards of conduct, taking responsibility for our actions and commitments. Doing duty involves recognizing and honoring the obligations we have toward ourselves, toward others, and toward the community at large. This goes beyond meeting explicit expectations, such as work or family responsibilities, to also including adhering to a personal code of ethics that guides us in all our interactions and choices. It means being trustworthy, keeping promises, and being present both physically and emotionally for those who depend on us. Acting with integrity means being consistent with what we say and do, maintaining an attitude of honesty and fairness even when no one is watching. Integrity is not just about adhering to the law, but about living by the principles of morality and ethics that we value, doing the right thing even when it is the most difficult option, and standing firm on our values in the face of external pressures or temptations. Dedication is the commitment to give our best in all situations, persevering despite obstacles and challenges, applying effort and passion to our work, our relationships, and our goals. This principle also reminds us of the importance of being responsible for our actions and their consequences, since personal responsibility is an essential pillar for a just and functional society, and each of us has a role to play in creating a better world. This involves being aware of how our actions affect others and the environment, and making decisions that promote well-being and justice. In relation to the 12th principle, the importance of self-control and emotional autonomy is highlighted. It emphasizes the need to develop the ability to not be disturbed by the attitudes or behaviors of others. This principle is a call to emotional maturity and inner strength, encouraging us to cultivate a serenity that remains unwavering in the face of external storms. Self-control refers to the ability to regulate our own emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, especially in difficult or provocative situations. It is the ability to remain calm and composed even in the face of criticism, rejection, or hostility. Possessing self-control implies the ability to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, allowing us to make conscious decisions. Emotional autonomy goes beyond self-control. It is about developing an internal independence where our peace and well-being are not subject to the actions or opinions of others. It involves understanding that, although we have no control over other people's behavior, we do have the power to control our response to it. By exercising emotional autonomy, we recognize our exclusive responsibility for our emotions and the ability to maintain our inner balance regardless of external circumstances. This principle instructs us to understand that people's reactions are usually more related to themselves than to us, which helps us not personalize every word or action directed towards us. Instead of succumbing to anger, resentment, or sadness, we can choose to approach the situation with understanding, compassion, and an open mind. Developing self-control and emotional autonomy requires practice and patience, involving techniques such as mindfulness, deep reflection, therapy, and the search for deeper self-knowledge. It can also mean learning to set healthy boundaries and distance yourself from toxic situations or relationships that constantly disturb our inner peace. The 12th principle does not advocate indifference or a lack of concern for others. On the contrary, by achieving greater emotional stability, we are better prepared to offer genuine support, empathy, and understanding. This allows us to be present and available to others in a healthier and more effective way. The 13th principle embraces simplicity as a path to a fuller and more meaningful life, highlighting the benefits of a less complicated lifestyle focused on the essentials. It is not simply about reducing physical possessions or depriving yourself of luxuries. It is an invitation to rethink our priorities, values, and how we invest our time and energy. Living simply means consciously choosing less but better quality, recognizing that the excessive accumulation of material goods often distracts us from what really matters. By reducing the excess and focusing on the essentials, we create space for the things that truly bring us satisfaction and joy, such as relationships, experiences, personal growth, and contributions to the community. Simplicity also refers to clarity of thought and the reduction of excess stimuli and information in a world saturated with constant messages and demands. Choosing simplicity is a way to regain peace of mind and focus, whether by limiting media consumption, spending time in reflection and meditation, or simply slowing down to appreciate the present moment. Adopting a simple lifestyle does not mean giving up comforts and pleasures, but rather finding satisfaction in the most fundamental and lasting things. It is a choice that seeks a less distracted and more intentional life, where decisions are made based on what truly adds value and meaning. By consuming less and choosing more consciously, we reduce our ecological footprint and contribute to a more sustainable and fair economy, demonstrating consideration not only for our well-being, but also for that of future generations and the planet as a whole. Likewise, simplicity instructs us to appreciate what we have, valuing and caring for what is already present rather than constantly searching for more. This cultivates a sense of satisfaction and gratitude for life. This attitude of gratitude is essential to experiencing a fuller and more satisfying life. In summary, the 13th principle encourages us to seek simplicity as a way to free ourselves from excess and focus on what is truly essential. By doing so, we not only improve our quality of life, but we also contribute to a more sustainable and equitable world. The 14th principle highlights the inestimable value of friendship, highlighting that genuine and meaningful relationships far surpass any form of material wealth. It reminds us that, although material possessions may provide temporary comfort, it is true friends who offer the support, comfort, and companionship that enrich our lives in lasting and meaningful ways. Friendship is presented as one of the purest forms of human connection. True friends accept us as we are, share our joys and sorrows, and are present in times of need. They are a source of joy, inspiration, and comfort, and often help us overcome life's most difficult challenges. This principle urges us to value and cultivate these relationships, recognizing that the quality of our friendships is one of the most genuine indicators of a rich and fulfilling life. In addition to highlighting the importance of friendship, this principle also motivates us to reflect on how we prioritize our lives in a world that often defines success in terms of material accumulation. It reminds us that true wealth lies in human connections and shared love. This principle challenges us to consider what we truly value and to seek a healthier balance between material pursuits and the cultivation of rich, meaningful relationships. The support and comfort that friends provide is invaluable. They are able to understand our struggles, offer wise advice, and provide a different perspective when we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. In times of crisis, it is our friends who offer us a shoulder to cry on, and in times of celebration, it is they who share laughter and joy with us. This emotional support network is essential for our psychological well-being and our ability to face life's adversities. Cultivating true friendships takes time and effort. It means being present, listening with empathy, and acting with kindness and consideration. It also means being a true friend in return, offering the same level of support and love we expect to receive. This principle encourages us to be proactive in strengthening our friendships, investing time and energy in fostering these valuable connections. The 15th principle highlights wisdom essential to well-being and inner peace, the importance of focusing our energies and attention on what is within our power to control, while learning to accept that which is beyond our ability to change. This teaching is essential to reduce stress and anxiety in our lives, promoting a more peaceful and balanced existence. Focusing on what we can control means recognizing and taking responsibility for our own actions, words, and thoughts. We often waste time and energy worrying about other people's circumstances or decisions that are beyond our control. This principle encourages us to redirect that effort toward areas where we can truly make a difference, such as our attitudes, choices, and behaviors. By doing so, we not only improve our own situation, but we also become positive examples for others. On the other hand, accepting what is beyond our reach is recognizing that there are aspects of life, such as other people's actions, certain outcomes and world events, that we simply cannot change. Acceptance is not about resignation or passivity, but about understanding reality clearly and objectively, without letting it disturb us or dominate us emotionally. By accepting the uncontrollable, we release the tension and stress that comes from fighting reality and open ourselves to responding in more adaptive and creative ways. The practice of acceptance is usually accompanied by mindfulness and meditation techniques, which help us stay grounded in the present and develop greater awareness of our thoughts and emotions. This allows us to observe our internal reactions without judgment and with compassion, facilitating the process of acceptance and liberation. Recognizing and respecting the limits of our control makes us more flexible and capable of facing life's challenges with a calmer and more determined attitude. By adopting this approach, we not only find more peace and balance in our daily lives, but we also prepare ourselves to deal with uncertainty and difficulties in a healthier and more productive way. This principle is the key to unlocking a more serene and content life, full of acceptance, resilience, and concentration on the present. The 16th principle is a powerful reminder that even in the most difficult times, there are valuable opportunities for advancement and growth. It encourages us to adopt an optimistic perspective, seeking to find benefits and lessons in all situations, especially those marked by adversity. This principle not only drives us to overcome obstacles, but also to transform them into stepping stones to reach higher levels of realization and understanding. Seeing adversity as an opportunity requires a change in mindset. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects of a difficult situation, we are invited to look for the potential for learning and empowerment that it can offer. Each challenge carries with it the seed of improvement and personal development. By facing problems with courage and determination, we can develop skills, gain new perspectives, and strengthen our character. This principle also emphasizes the importance of resilience and flexibility. Resilience allows us to recover quickly from adversity, maintaining a positive attitude and the will to keep trying. Flexibility, on the other hand, allows us to adapt our strategies and approaches as necessary, embracing change as part of the growth process. Together, these qualities prepare us to face life's uncertainties and extract value from each experience. Furthermore, the 16th principle invites us to an exercise in wisdom and serenity, acceptance of what we cannot control. This principle is a powerful reminder that, despite our efforts and desires, many aspects of life are out of our reach. The behavior of other people, external events, and the broader forces that shape the world often follow their own course, independent of our wills and actions. Recognizing and accepting what is beyond our control is not a sign of weakness or resignation, but a sign of maturity and understanding. By focusing on our own behavior and reactions, we have the opportunity to exercise our freedom and influence where it really matters. This means devoting our energy and attention to improving our ethical behavior and making conscious decisions, rather than agonizing over life's uncertainties and unpredictabilities. Accepting the uncontrollable frees us from the weight of unrealistic expectations and the need to control everything, significantly reducing stress and anxiety. We are not constantly worried about what is beyond our reach, but instead find peace and contentment in what we can by embracing life as it comes and responding to its twists and turns with flexibility and resilience. Additionally, this principle teaches us to be more compassionate and understanding by recognizing that we cannot control others. We learn to accept people as they are, with their own struggles and journeys, thus promoting healthier relationships and a more harmonious society where respect and acceptance are fundamental values. Accepting what we cannot control also encourages us to live in the present, appreciating each moment and the opportunities it offers, rather than getting lost in worries about the future or regrets about the past. In summary, the 16th principle is an invitation to embrace life with openness and serenity. By accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what is within our reach, we can live more balanced and peaceful lives, cultivating resilience, compassion, and wisdom as we move through the world. This principle acts as a compass that guides us through the storms of life, reminding us that although we cannot control the wind, we can adjust our sails. The 17th principle is an invitation to establish a deep connection with yourself and the world around you, living in harmony with nature. This concept is not limited only to the natural environment, but encompasses the nature inherent in each individual and the natural order of the universe. It involves recognizing and respecting our own needs, capabilities, and limits, as well as understanding our place and role in the broader ecosystem of life. Living in accordance with nature begins with deep self-knowledge, inviting us to explore our true identities without masks or social expectations. This involves understanding our passions, fears, desires, and everything that defines us. By doing so, we can align our actions and choices with our true essence, living authentically and fully. This principle also encourages us to recognize and respect our physical and emotional limits. Understanding and accepting these limits does not represent a restriction, but rather a way to harmonize our lives instead of fighting against our own nature. We look for ways to work with it, which leads to a more balanced and less resistant existence. Furthermore, living in accordance with nature means understanding that we are part of something bigger. We recognize that each living being has its own role and contribution to the global ecosystem, leading us to greater appreciation and respect for the natural world and all forms of life. We develop an awareness that our actions have impacts beyond ourselves, and we begin to live more consciously and sustainably. This principle also reminds us that life is a continuous cycle of growth, change, and renewal, similar to the seasons changing and nature adapting. We are called to accept and embrace the changes in our lives, seeing them as natural opportunities for evolution and learning. Resistance to these changes is often the source of our suffering. By flowing with the nature of life, we find greater peace and contentment. In summary, the 17th principle invites us to live in harmony with our essence and the world around us. By recognizing and respecting our own nature and the nature around us, we can live in a more authentic, balanced, and conscious way. The 18th principle is a guide to a life of contentment and deep meaning. The path of virtue is sufficient. He emphasizes that true happiness and satisfaction are not found in material possessions or ephemeral pleasures, but in the cultivation and practice of essential virtues. The Stoic virtues, such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, are not only admirable qualities, but also foundations for a life well lived. Wisdom is the virtue of discerning between good, evil, and what is simply indifferent, making decisions aligned with our deepest values and the greatest good. It involves understanding that not everything is under our control and accepting life as it is, with all its uncertainties and unpredictability. Courage implies the strength to face challenges, overcome fears, and stand firm in convictions, not only physically, but also morally. Temperance is balance and self-control in the face of desires and impulses, acting with moderation to live in a healthy and balanced way. The 19th principle reminds us that although possessions and pleasures bring temporary satisfaction, it is the virtuous life that offers lasting joy and purpose. Pursuing and practicing these qualities not only improves our own lives, but also contributes to the well-being and happiness of others. Living a virtuous life is a continuous path of growth and learning, requiring constant reflection, self-discipline, and a willingness to confront our own shortcomings and limitations. The rewards of this path are immeasurable, discovering a source of true, deep, and eternally satisfying happiness and satisfaction. This principle is a beacon that guides us through the storms and uncertainties of life, reminding us that what really matters is who we choose to be and how we choose to live. The 20th principle is an exhortation to cultivate ataraxia, a state of mental tranquility. This central concept in Stoic philosophy is the goal of achieving deep and lasting inner peace, a serenity that remains unshakable even in the face of life's adversities and challenges. Practicing ataraxia does not mean repressing or denying emotions, but rather learning to understand, accept, and manage them in a rational and calm way. Developing this inner serenity begins with the recognition that emotions are natural responses to our experiences and perceptions. Instead of trying to repress or judge them, we should observe them with curiosity and understanding. The key to ataraxia lies in understanding that, although we cannot control external events, we can control our responses to them. This involves learning to respond to situations with a clear and balanced mind, rather than reacting impulsively. By practicing mindfulness and reflection, we can create a healthy distance between ourselves and our automatic reactions, choosing responses aligned with our deepest values and goals. Another crucial part of practicing ataraxia is cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, and temperance. Wisdom allows us to discern what really matters, focusing our energy where we can make a difference. Courage gives us the strength to face difficulties head-on, maintaining our serenity even in the face of fear or uncertainty. Temperance helps us maintain balance, avoiding excesses that could disturb our tranquility. Additionally, the practice of gratitude and acceptance plays a critical role in maintaining ataraxia. Being grateful for the blessings and lessons of all experiences and accepting what we cannot change frees us from the chains of desire and regret, allowing us to live with deeper appreciation and genuine peace. It is important to note that ataraxia is not a state of indifference or emotional detachment. Rather, it is a form of full and conscious engagement with life, where emotions are fully experienced, but not allowed to govern our actions or define our well-being. The 21st principle proposes a powerful and transformative practice: constant reflection. This habit involves a daily examination of your actions, intentions, and the general state of your life. It is an invitation to look introspectively, question the virtuosity and effectiveness of your actions, and identify areas of growth and improvement. This practice not only increases self-knowledge, but also strengthens self-discipline, improving quality of life and interaction with others. Constant reflection is a moment of honesty with yourself. At the end of each day, take time to reflect on your actions and choices. Ask yourself if your actions reflect your virtues and values, if there is something you could have done better, and how you can improve tomorrow. This exercise is not about cultivating guilt or remorse, but rather recognizing both successes and failures as valuable opportunities for learning and growth. Practicing this self-examination helps you develop a greater understanding of your motivations and behaviors. Over time, you will begin to notice patterns in your reactions and choices, some aligned with your goals and others that may need adjustment. By becoming more aware of these patterns, you gain the opportunity to intentionally transform your future actions so that they are more aligned with your aspirations and principles. This can act as a powerful motivator to keep your actions aligned with your long-term goals and the type of person you want to be. Self-discipline, developed through constant reflection, becomes an essential tool for overcoming challenges and resisting short-term temptations that could lead you astray. Instead of perceiving yourself as someone fixed and unchanging, you begin to see yourself as someone constantly evolving, always capable of learning and improving. This shift in perspective can increase your resilience, your ability to deal with failure, and your willingness to take risks and tackle new challenges. Through constant reflection, you become more aware of your actions and gain more power to shape your life according to your deepest values. This daily practice becomes a path to self-knowledge, self-discipline, and continuous growth, leading to a more virtuous and satisfying life. The 22nd principle is an invitation to reconsider our perspective on adversity, seeing each difficulty not as a misfortune, but as a valuable opportunity to exercise virtues and strengthen ourselves. We are encouraged to take a proactive and positive approach to challenges, seeing them as catalysts for personal development and improvement. Seeing adversities as opportunities requires a significant change in the way we perceive and react to difficulties. Instead of becoming discouraged or feeling defeated by setbacks and challenges, we are urged to see them as fertile ground for cultivating our inner strength, wisdom, and resilience. Each challenge becomes a test, an opportunity to apply and strengthen virtues such as courage, patience, perseverance, and adaptability. This principle does not minimize the pain or difficulty that adversity can bring, but recognizes that although we have no control over external circumstances, we do have control over our responses to them. By choosing to respond with an attitude of learning and growth, we transform potentially negative experiences into valuable lessons and opportunities for improvement. Seeing adversity as opportunities also helps us develop greater understanding and compassion for ourselves and others. We learn to value the process of improvement and recognize the strength that comes from facing and overcoming obstacles. This also enables us to offer support and empathy to others in their struggles, having experienced firsthand the value of perseverance and courage. Furthermore, this perspective encourages us to actively pursue personal growth even outside of times of crisis. By adopting a mindset of continuous growth, we are always looking for ways to challenge ourselves, push our limits, and step out of our comfort zone. This makes us more prepared and resilient when adversity inevitably arises. By facing adversity as opportunities, we adopt a posture of strength, openness, and optimism. This not only allows us to overcome challenges more easily, but also to extract maximum value from them, transforming each experience into a springboard towards a wiser, stronger, and more virtuous version of ourselves. The 23rd principle, a gem of Stoic wisdom, encourages us to perceive failure not as a setback, but as a valuable opportunity for growth and improvement. This teaching, which would resonate with the words of Epicurus, suggests seeing errors as essential steps on the path to excellence. In a society that often stigmatizes error, this perspective offers a refreshing and constructive approach to adversity. It reminds us that failure does not mark the end of a journey, but is an integral component of the learning process. Every mistake carries valuable lessons and knowledge that we could not acquire otherwise. Seeing failure as a teacher, not an enemy, transforms our relationship with error into a powerful tool for personal and professional development. Epicurus, with wisdom, urges us to analyze our mistakes with curiosity and openness, without judgment or excessive self-criticism. This approach helps us identify not only where we failed, but also what we can do differently next time. This mindset promotes constant evolution, cultivating resilience and courage to face new challenges. In summary, the 23rd Stoic Principle teaches us to accept failure as an ally in our growth. It encourages us to see each setback as an opportunity for improvement and reminds us that the path to excellence is paved with learning acquired through our own failures. By adopting this mindset, we empower ourselves to move forward with greater wisdom, resilience, and confidence toward our goals and dreams. The 24th Stoic Principle proposes a pragmatic approach to dealing with life's uncertainties. Prepare for the worst. Far from being pessimistic, this approach promotes an effective strategy for managing the anxiety and worries that often plague us. By accepting that the worst can happen, we mentally prepare ourselves to face any eventuality, thus developing a robust resilience that allows us to face the future with more calm and confidence. This principle does not suggest living in constant fear or negativity, but rather recognizing the reality of impermanence and uncertainty. By doing this, we can cultivate a stronger and more flexible mind, capable of adapting to different scenarios. This mindset helps us develop contingency plans and coping strategies, reducing the feeling of helplessness in the face of unexpected challenges and changes. Preparing for the worst also teaches us to value and not take positive and stable moments for granted. This awareness deepens our gratitude and appreciation for life, guiding us to live in the present with greater intensity and joy. Furthermore, this preparation makes us more empathetic and understanding that difficulties and adversities are universal aspects of the human experience. Anticipating and accepting possible adversities has a liberating effect, allowing us to face our deepest fears. By doing so, we discover that the power they have over us decreases. By facing and accepting potential adversities, we become less anxious and more able to deal with situations as they arise. In summary, the 24th Stoic guides us to face life with realistic preparation and an open mind. This practice of anticipating and accepting the worst gives us emotional and mental resilience, allowing us to navigate life's uncertainties with greater serenity and effectiveness. In this way, we equip ourselves not only to face challenges, but also to make the most of the opportunities and joys that life offers. The 25th principle invites us to experience wholeness and awareness by living in the present. While recognizing the importance of planning for the future, Stoic philosophy highlights the invaluable value of living in the present moment, focusing on the task at hand and appreciating life as it unfolds. This principle encourages us to free ourselves from excessive anxiety about what is to come and regrets about what has already happened, fully embracing the here and now. Living in the present involves directing our attention and energy to the current moment, appreciating the experiences and opportunities it offers. It's about being fully engaged in what we're doing, whether it's working, interacting with other people, or just kicking back and relaxing. By doing so, we not only increase our efficiency and satisfaction, but we also cultivate greater inner peace and joy. This principle does not suggest that we should ignore the past or the future. Learning from our past experiences and planning for the future are important aspects of life. However, the Stoics remind us that the only reality we truly possess and can influence is the present. Worrying excessively about the future or regretting the past are habits that distract us from the now and can generate feelings of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Living in the present also means accepting and valuing life as it is, not as we would like it to be. This means recognizing and embracing our current reality with all its imperfections and beauties. By accepting life in the present, we can find the peace and contentment that comes from understanding that, although not everything is under our control, we can always control our attitude and perception. Additionally, practicing mindfulness is a powerful way to cultivate the ability to live in the present. Techniques such as meditation, conscious breathing, and mindful observation can help us focus our mind and body on the current moment, reducing the tendency to get lost in future worries or past regrets. By living in the present, we open our eyes to the beauty and opportunities contained in each moment, releasing the burden of anxiety about the future and regret about the past, finding in each hour a space for growth, learning, and appreciation. Practicing moderation involves exercising discipline and self-control, adopting an approach that not only contributes to personal well-being, but also harmonizes our actions and ensures a more satisfying and balanced path towards our goals and aspirations. Let us remember that, in the symphony of life, moderation is fundamental, a virtue that, when well orchestrated, guides us towards a richer and fuller existence. One of the core principles of Stoicism, a philosophy that praises inner strength and resilience, is to avoid negative self-talk. This means not engaging in self-deprecating dialogue, even in private thoughts. As the Stoic emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, we should not complain even in silence. Such a practice is crucial to protecting self-confidence and mental well-being. Constantly immersed in appreciative thoughts, such as, "I'm terrible at this," or "I'll never get better at that," we undermine our self-esteem and weaken motivation. On the path of Stoicism, it is essential to be fully aware of our internal dialogue. Instead of depreciating ourselves, we must strive to recognize our potential and capabilities, cultivating a perspective that allows us to affirm with conviction our abilities and possibilities for growth. By consciously adopting a positive, growth-focused mindset, we strengthen our self-confidence and resilience. This approach, rooted in Stoic philosophy, reminds us that self-mastery begins with the way we talk to ourselves. By adopting an affirmative and motivating internal speech, we take fundamental steps to build a resilient and success-oriented mindset. Stoicism urges us to recognize that the path to personal fulfillment and happiness depends largely on our perception and response to challenges. Embracing a mindset that encourages self-affirmation empowers us to face challenges with confidence and learn from them, strengthening the foundation on which we build our self-confidence and emotional resilience. In short, following Stoic wisdom means cultivating positive and constructive self-talk aligned with the principles of inner strength and growth proposed by the Stoics. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, offers profound advice on self-improvement. He advises that our journey to improve ourselves must take place with humility and discretion. It suggests that, instead of proclaiming our achievements and progress to the winds, we allow our actions and changes in character to be the true testimony of our growth. True personal progress is reflected not only in the words we say, but in the real, tangible changes that occur in our behavior, character, and mindset. Improvement should be a continuous and discrete process, focused on our individual development without seeking external validation. By taking this approach, we allow our achievements and advancements to manifest naturally, which in turn can inspire and positively influence others more than any grandiose declaration. Following the wisdom of Epictetus, the path to self-improvement becomes a journey of humility and modesty. On this journey, we let our actions and results speak for themselves. This being the most authentic and convincing way to demonstrate our growth and positively impact the lives of others, gratitude is an essential pillar for personal well-being and interpersonal relationships, as highlighted by Stoic philosophy and the words of Epicurus. Recognizing and valuing what we have instead of lamenting what we lack is a powerful practice that enriches daily life. The ungrateful attitude can be subtle, manifesting itself in the lack of recognition of other people's gestures or in the tendency to underestimate the small daily joys that bring comfort and happiness. On the other hand, the conscious practice of gratitude involves active recognition and appreciation for good things, whether big or small, from a simple gesture of kindness to the opportunities that come our way. Expressing gratitude not only enriches our own lives by focusing on the positive, but it also strengthens our connections with others, fostering an environment of trust and mutual respect. Gratitude is more than just courtesy. It is an engine for human connection and emotional growth, a fundamental element for a richer, more satisfying life. Thus, Stoicism transmits timeless wisdom that resonates strongly in the contemporary world. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen more than we speak. This advice, beyond its simplicity, instigates deep reflection on how we communicate and interact in today's world, where everyone seeks to be heard. The practice of active listening becomes crucial, and listening carefully means much more than simply hearing. By paying full attention, attuning to the words, emotions, and non-verbal nuances through attentive listening, we offer a valuable gift, demonstrated respect and appreciation of the thoughts and experiences of others, which can strengthen bonds and improve communication in all areas. Contexts. In addition to being socially beneficial, listening also promotes our own growth and development. By actively absorbing new ideas and perspectives, we expand our horizons and make more informed decisions. The wisdom of Epictetus reminds us that in a world that sometimes prioritizes personal expression and visibility, being a good listener, one of mindfulness and genuine respect, carries a skill that, when cultivated, not only enriches our interactions and relationships, but also opens paths for solid and significant personal and professional growth. Finally, the next time we are immersed in a conversation, let us remember the transformative power of listening and discover a deeper connection, paving the way for personal enrichment and rewarding communication. Marcus Aurelius, the famous emperor and philosopher, reminded us that for a happy life we need very little, since everything lies in our way of thinking. Our happiness depends largely on our mindset and how we choose to perceive and respond to the world around us. Complaining appears to be a repetitive and unproductive cycle that frequently does not lead to positive changes, but instead generates feelings of victimization and helplessness, increasing stress and frustration. Additionally, constant complaining can wear down our relationships, becoming emotionally draining for those around us. On the other hand, refraining from complaining and focusing on the positive can transform our lives, improving mental health by reducing stress and increasing emotional resilience. It also strengthens relationships, as people are naturally attracted to those who radiate positivity. In addition, it increases productivity, since complaining is distracting while looking for solutions and proactive actions makes us more efficient. Encouraging gratitude by focusing on what we have can bring contentment and happiness, thus reducing complaints. Practicing mindfulness, being aware of our thoughts and feelings, actively seeking solutions instead of focusing on the problem, and regularly expressing gratitude make these practices beneficial habits. Let us remember, as Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, that the key to happiness lies in ourselves and in the way we think. Stoicism, with its principle of selective silence, encourages us to carefully consider when to speak and when to remain silent. This approach can significantly improve our personal growth and connections. What we think is in a hurry to be expressed, and by practicing selective silence, we can learn to navigate life with more intention and wisdom, leading to a deeper and more meaningful life experience. Continuing to learn about this rich philosophy is important, as it offers teachings applicable to everyday life, helping us find strength, wisdom, and inner peace.